Press the bell icon on YouTube and don't miss another update.
Namaskar. My editorial today is about two tweets. Two tweets from a senior leader of and a former union minister of India and a senior leader of DMK, Miss Kanimozhi, and the second is again from a former union minister and Congress leader P. Chidambaram. Two tweets. I'll go through the first tweet of Miss Kanimozhi and then we will talk. Kanimozhi says, today at the airport, a CISF officer asked me if I am an Indian when I asked her to speak to me in Tamil or English, as I didn't know Hindi. I'd like to know from when being Indian is equal to knowing Hindi. This was Kanimozhi's tweet, and to which Mr. Chidambaram said, I have experienced similar taunts from government officers and ordinary citizens who insisted that I speak in Hindi during telephone conversation and sometimes face to face. So these two big celebrities, leaders, they said, listen, you know what? We've been humiliated because we couldn't speak Hindi. We've been told that you better speak Hindi. Kanimozhi says, if you don't speak Hindi, you are not an Indian. Now, I had done an editorial on the 17th of September 2019 on similar topic. A very similar topic which is still relevant now. I would like you to go through that editorial and then I'll get back to you. On 14th of September, that is last Saturday, our Honorable Home Minister Shri Amit Shah made a statement.
मुझे लगता है अनेक भाषाएं अनेक बोलियां हमारी देश की सबसे बड़ी ताकत है, देश की सबसे बड़ी ताकत। परंतु जरूरत है कि देश की एक भाषा हो जिसके कारण विदेशी भाषाओं को जगह न मिले और देश की एक भाषा हो, इसी दृष्टि को ध्यान में रखते हुए हमारे पुरखों ने, हमारे स्वतंत्र सेनानियों ने राजभाषा की कल्पना की थी और राजभाषा के रूप में हिंदी को स्वीकार किया था।
Acha, what Amit Shah and his government says is that they say, listen, you know what? We should be one nation, one language. While each of the states celebrates their own language, no doubt, what Amit Shah said, a language that unifies India today currently is possibly English. He says, why don't we throw out English and get in Hindi? So let Hindi be that language that unifies the country. He says, English is not our language. No, it is a foreign language, so throw it out. Okay. The second thing, which I think we should be fair to Mr. Amit Shah, he never made any imposition. He never made any law. He didn't say that I'm going to create a law that makes Hindi our national language or Hindi a compulsory language. He didn't say all of that. He just said that, listen, he believes that it should be one nation, one language. So that was what he said. Okay. Now, let us look at it from a non-Hindi speaking Indian's perspective. Now, this created a lot of furore. This created a lot of furore is because the person who said it is Amit Shah and the party he represents is BJP. Likewise, in some meeting, they spoke about black money and one fine day there was an announcement of demonetization. So people were a little scared. Like one fine day there was an announcement of 370. So the lot of decisions which they take like this. So a lot of people were scared. They said, Arey, will they impose Hindi on us?
Unity in diversity is a promise we made when we made India into a republic. Now, no Shah, Sultan or Samrat should renege on that promise. We respect all languages, but our mother language will always be Tamil.
You see, I have an uncle in Kerala. He must be around 79, 80. He is an MSc in mathematics. In fact, he is a retired professor of a college. He is educated, of course. He is MSc. And MSc where? In 1967 or 68, he did his MSc. So he is an educated person. But you see, what happens to this educated person if his Provident Fund letter comes to him in Hindi? He has never studied Hindi all his life. Neither can he speak Hindi, nor can he understand Hindi, nor can he read Hindi at all. So what happens to this 78-year-old man who stays in a place called Kulashekara Kerala? Okay, this MSc Mathematics postgraduate, what happens to him is he gets this letter, he can't read it. All of a sudden, at the age of 78, he becomes illiterate. And that hurts. So he has to take this letter in Hindi, find out a person in his village who can read Hindi, give this letter to him and say, please read this for me so that I can understand, and then I can go and do whatever it takes. Overnight, he is converted from literate to illiterate. And his mistake, his fault is he does not know Hindi. That's from a perspective of a non-Hindi speaking person. The second point that I wanted to talk. Language is something that you fall in love with. You see, you fall in love with a language. You are not forced. You don't force a language on a person. You fall in love with that language. Ideally, it should be that way. Now, when it comes to North, in North or a Hindi speaking belt, they have to learn their mother tongue, which is Hindi, and they could learn one more additional language, which could be English. But say, for instance, in South, in Tamil Nadu, since most of our protest is coming from Tamil Nadu, in Tamil Nadu, the same child has to learn Tamil, he has to learn Hindi, and he has to learn English. And you can't avoid English is because look at countries like China, where today even adults are trying to reach out and learn English. Because the only way you can export your products, you can deal in international market is if you know English. So even in today, China is promoting its people to learn English so that they can communicate to the world. We need exports maybe more than China, looking at our current economy. So isn't it important for us that we learn English? So other than going ahead in life like China who are forcing its people to now learn English, we are telling our people whoever knows English, don't bother about English. Throw English out and come back and learn Hindi. So that's the problem number 2. Now let's come to the problem number 3, national language. A lot of people, a lot of non-Hindi speaking people in this country say why Hindi should be a national language. Why not Bengali? Oh, it's a beautiful language. Our national anthem is written not in Hindi, by the way. It is written in Bengali. Why not Bengali? Oh, why not Gujarati? Few of the most powerful people in India, in fact, the only powerful people in India are Gujaratis. So why not Gujarati? Why not Marathi? Oh, it's a beautiful language. It's a beautiful language. Why not Marathi? Oh, why not this language called Tanjavur Marathi? Have you heard this? If you don't, please, after this editorial, do type Tanjavur Marathi in YouTube and hear it. Oh, it's a beautiful language. Why not Tamil? So what I hear you say is, oh, Hindi is the most spoken language. Majority of Indians speaks Hindi. Acha? But the point is, national bird, national language, national animal are not majority. Our national bird is peacock. Our majority bird is crow. Crow is not our national bird. Peacock is. Our national animal is the tiger. Majority animal possibly is rodents, rats. But rats is not our national animal. It is a tiger. Or cow is not our national animal because there are more cows than tigers. Not national animal. Tiger is our national animal. When you say national language, national animal means you are saying it's a special language. Like you are saying it's a special bird, it's a special animal. Why? Why is Marathi not a special language? Why is Malayalam not a special language? Why is Punjabi not a special language? It's a beautiful language. Why is Hindi a special language? Why is Ahami not a special language? So the fact remains that one taking a decision of randomly saying that okay, because majority speaks Hindi, so it's a national language. That may be not the best way to ensure that you propagate Hindi. Now let's come to this point, majoritarianism. Hindus are the majority in this country, so Muslims and Christians are minorities. Now, Hindi speaking is the majority in this country, so non-Hindi speaking are minorities. Why are we trying to create one more minority? Why are we so hell-bent in our country creating minorities? And then we talk about minorities appeasement, majority over minority, minority over majority. Why are we doing this? Why are we hell-bent on bifurcating people, dividing people? British, I can understand, they had a reason to divide and rule us. Now, are we seeing divide and rule again? So, these are the points that I wanted to make as far as language imposition of Hindi is concerned. I repeat, Amit Shah never said that he is going to impose Hindi. He just mentioned that possibly he started a national debate on having one nation, one language. That said, second point I wanted to make here is I don't think anybody in this country would be aversive to learn or to teach or to allow their children to learn Hindi. It will be a beautiful thing. Learning an Indian language is such a beautiful thing. Nobody has a problem. But imposition of a language, forcing a person to use a language is not correct. In fact, forcing a person to do anything, at least in today's world, is not correct. That's my point. Like I said, Amit Shah never said that he will be imposing Hindi. Never have he said that. He just made that statement, that too a year back. He never said any of those things. Nor has there any bill being passed, or nor is there any bill proposed to impose Hindi. So let that be made very clear. But that said, when we hear statements like अगर आप हिंदी नहीं बोलते हो तो आप हिंदुस्तानी नहीं हो, it hurts. It really hurts. Till we meet next time. Namaskar.